Greetings! In this week's video we are going to make a barbecue chicken sandwich, and these are the same buns that I made last week in my homemade bun recipe. Because I am cheap and not willing to buy skinless, boneless thighs, I believe that there are some of us out there just like me. So I'm just going to show you how I debone my thighs. It's a lot easier than it looks. All you need to do is just feel along the meat, and where you find the bone, you're going to cut away the flesh from the bone. So once you have the bone exposed from your thigh, you're going to hold it and start scraping the meat from the bone. This way you lose a lot less meat. So you're keeping a lot more meat, and it's easier to work with when you're holding the bone because you have a better range of motion, and it's easier to just scrape the meat from the bone. It's a ball and socket joint, so most likely you'll be able to just pop the bone out of the socket. If not, just continue prying and cutting until you're able to. Once you're finished with this bone, you're going to flip it over, feel where the other bones are, and cut the meat away from the bone. When it comes to seasoning the meat, it was really nothing special. It was just chicken seasoning, cayenne, thyme, paprika, and a bit of jerk seasoning. I allowed my meat to marinate in the fridge overnight, and then I took it out 1 hour before I actually wanted to cook it and allowed it to come to room temperature. We're going to need a wet dredge, which is going to be flour, some seasoning, and water. We want to mix this until it becomes like a pancake-like consistency, and this is what we're going to use to coat our chicken. You don't want the mixture to be lumpy, so just ensure that you mix it until it is smooth. This might take you a while, but just continue, persevere. This is the consistency that we're looking for, and after we achieve this, we're going to ensure to dip all our chicken into this mixture, having it evenly coated before we add it to a dry flour mixture. So this is going to help with the crispness of our meat. It is important that you don't have any wet spots, so once you place the chicken into the dry mixture, you're going to pat in that dry flour, having everywhere covered in flour. So you want to just take your time, ensure that it's all covered and you don't have any wet spots. Here I am just packing it into the meat. Then you shake it off. Once I have everybody buttered and coated off in flour, I'm going to add it to the pot to fry. The meat is quite thick, but because it's going to finish off in the oven, I am not worried about the thickness. If I were not going to cook it in the oven, then I would have pounded the meat to thin it out so that it has an even cook time and it doesn't take so long. But just because it's going to go in the oven, I am not worried about the thickness of the meat. After having all my meat in the pot, I'm going to allow them to brown on both sides. That varies in time. Just watch your meat and ensure that you get a nice crisp golden brown on the underside before you flip it. Once your meat has this color on the underside, it's now time to flip it, and we're going to continue this process until we have finished frying all our chicken. While our meat finishes, we're going to make our barbecue sauce, which is going to finish off our chicken. So it is ketchup, sugar, honey, some soy sauce, some oyster sauce, and a little bit of nutmeg. You're going to want to mix this until everybody is well combined, and you that. So now we have our chicken done, our barbecue sauce is done, and what we're going to do is dip the chicken into the sauce, spin it around, make sure that all of the chicken is covered before we bake it. What this is going to do is ensure that the sauce is all over the chicken, and then the baking is going to allow it to stick better. So it's going to be like a barbie fry situation. The chicken doesn't need to be in the oven too long because it would have almost finished cooking while you were frying it. You just want it long enough so that the sauce sticks and you get this color. So once it comes out of the oven, what you want to do is add your cheese so that it starts melting and you have that nice melted cheese for your burger, sandwich, whatever. This is just a simple sauce for your buns, and it is ketchup, mayo, and some red chili flakes. I didn't have cayenne, so I chose red chili flakes just to have a little heat, but you can just add cayenne if you have. Now we're going to prepare our buns for toasting, and I cut 6 buns. I'm gonna cut the 6 of them lean. Each time I was like, okay, I'm going to get it straight now, but 6 of them lean. Every last bun is lean, but we're not mind. We're not fair. We're not fair. So what you want to do is just cut your buns in preparation for toasting them, so you move faster. So to your pan, your pot, your skillet, your griddle, your whatever you want to have, about a tablespoon or 2 of butter. Have that melt, have that nicely heated, so that when your buns hit that, it just starts toasting. And having toasted buns just have a little like an extra to your little sandwich, just a little something. So because my buns were cut lean, they toasted unevenly, but they toasted nonetheless. So we're going to now build our sandwich, and what we're starting with is our burger sauce or sandwich sauce. Then I'm going to go in with my lettuce, my chicken, tomatoes, and the other bun. This brings us to the end of the video. I do hope you enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and share the channel with a friend.